Okay, so we just went over some of the different consonant teams, which are like the letter teams that go together. So what was one of them that we were looking for? Ooh, nice quiet hand. Yeah, Jason. Shh. Good. Can we all practice? Ready? Shh. Good. Yeah, Genesis, what's another? Ready? Let's practice. Nate, another. Good. All right, so as we're reading, I want you to be looking for those words in the story. And if you want to raise a quiet hand or do our stop symbol, then we can kind of talk about it, point it out, make sure we all see it. Sound good?
Okay.
All right, our other task today is we are going to be taking some time to retell this story. And when we retell it, a lot of times what we need to do is put the story events in order. Because if we're reading this page right here, are we going to say that this one's first? Is that going to make sense?
No.
No, you have to make sure you know what happens first, next, after that, and then what happens at the end, right? So our goal today is both with kind of this match that we're going to do in partners, and you're going to write either on this page, don't shut up, or on your whiteboards, the story blank is about blank. Then we're going to try to use these words. First, blank. Then,
Blank.
finally,
Blank.
so you get to actually choose, because we have lots of different pages and lots of different events, but that's going to be our goal today. So we'll do a writing part at the end, and then we'll also get to do the activity where you get to say what the events are and kind of move some things around. Sound good? So, what I want us to do now, since you've already kind of flipped through the book, you kind of know what's happening.
Can I read it?
Give me 1 second. You will be first. We're going to go around, but let's wait first. Don't shut up. So, I'm going to have Jason read first, and then he's going to read just a little bit louder than everybody else, and then you three are going to whisper it, okay? And then, next page, who's going to read?
Me.
A little bit louder. You three are going to whisper.
What?
And then Genesis is going to do the same thing, and then Jose, you're going to do last, okay? And it's okay, because I've heard you read a bunch
Is it
of
fine
times.
if you read fast?
So, go ahead.
Is it okay if you read fast?
I would prefer you take your time, because good readers not only reread, right? But they also take their time to make sure they're really understanding what the words are saying and not making like little substitutions. And also, they can really know what it means more when you take your time. So if you are reading naturally, that's fine, but make sure you really kind of think about and can visualize in your mind what each page is saying, because you're gonna need that to retell your story, right? Or you're not gonna know what's going on. Okay, so before we start, we were kind of talking about what's gonna happen. I know you were saying earlier that it's about gymnastics. So to add to that, this character that we're gonna be reading about, she's trying to accomplish like a goal or try to get better at something. So in about 20 seconds to 30 seconds, I want you to talk to the people next to you about a time that you've tried to get better at something. Sound good?
Okay. Yo me estaban probando a hacer como con un primo
You were talking about a really good one earlier. Want to talk about it?
y también quiero jugar juegos y pelear.
I want to get better at basketball.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm not good at.
Ooh, about a sports theme, and that actually has to do with this character too, so you're already making some connections.
I want to get
About 6 more seconds.
I want to get better
I'm bad at math. I mean,
I want to get
I'm
better
bad.
at basketball. No, why?
That's okay.
I want to get better at.
I want to
Alright,
get
ready?
better at.
Here's our signal. You ready?
I
And
wanna
stop. Don't worry though. At the end, I have these stickies in here, and then you can write down your thoughts so you can finish. Sound good? So it's just a pause for now. Okay, so I'm gonna have Jason read just a little bit louder. Everyone else, go ahead and turn to the page 1 and make sure that your finger's pointing to the 1.
Wait, isn't this one?
Uh-huh. 1.
Page.
There's 1. That one looks like the one that's actually not. But you are on the right page. Good. Let's make sure.
Me,
No,
right?
that page. No, I'm trying to see how much pages there.
You can
This
look
is-
up it.
This is
Like,
three. Me
Okay.
and page 3.
Everybody ready?
these are only 13 pages.
All right. So your test. You're gonna read it. Do you want to use your line reader? Sounds good. I know this one only has 1 line, but that's okay. Okay, so you're gonna read it just a little bit louder than everybody else. Okay?
I wish to play on the mat.
Good job. And everyone else did a really nice job. You're just gonna do this one. And everyone else is gonna read it to yourself.
I dash through a dot. I will not miss.
Ooh, I'm noticing one of the words that has the sound we were talking about.
SH.
Does anyone want to raise a quiet hand and tell me what sound it was? Jose. Good. And what's the word?
Dash.
Good. Alrighty. Nice job so far, and I love that we're following expectations. We're taking it seriously. All right, Genesis, are you ready?
I will not miss.
No.
I already did that.
You read that one.
You gotta read this one.
You read it to yourself. You too.
I
Ooh, that has that sound we talked about.
with
Good.
my legs
Good.
up.
That one's a tough one, and you can use the pictures as context clues too. Do you feel comfortable reading the other two, or do you want to go on to somebody else?
I will.
Sure. Are you ready?
I will.
I heard you doing it with your whisper phone, and you were doing a really nice job sounding out the words. Do you want to take a risk?
I will.
This one we're all going to read, and I'm going to listen a little bit more carefully to him. But you guys can still read those too, okay?
Okay.
I mix and trip.
That one, let's get it. Ready?
Toss.
Toss. Ooh, what does toss mean? Say
Toss, that means you're like tossing a ball.
Hang on, I love it. But let's raise your quiet hand. Yeah, Nate.
Toss.
Will be next.
Toss is like you throwing something.
Yeah. Well, can everybody model
Yes,
it for
it
me?
is.
What does it look like to toss something?
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Toss. No,
It could be both. It actually could be both. So you could do it like this, toss, or it could be toss.
Yeah, there's two ways.
Overhand, underhand. Good. So she's tossing her hips back.
I tossed my hip
You told
back.
me.
I do. I do a back
Ooh, that one's
twist.
tricky.
No, it's not.
Twist.
That's like
It's a
two
back
twists.
twist. No, it's not. It's trunk. Two
Ah.
back.
Hop.
Tuck. Can everybody who knows model, what does it look like to tuck? Good. Tuck and roll, right? Oh, careful.
Sorry.
Nice modeling. All right,
Sonic
come back
does
to your
that.
seats in 3,
Doesn't get by the way.
2. Do it calmly, please. 1. Nice job. Okay. So now I want you to read the rest on your own, and you're all gonna whisper, and I'm gonna kind of tune in like supersonic to each of you, little by little. And if you have, hang on. And if you see a word that you're not sure about, I'm gonna raise your hand, and I will give you your pen, and you can write that word, and we'll try to figure out the sounds together. Sound good? Or if you're not sure what it means,
I need a marker.
I'll give it to you when you're ready. Sound good? That way it's no distraction. Oh, whisper.
You don't know what that is?
Alright.
Why the only one who knows that?
That's we're not gonna shame anybody else. You're just trying to beat your own reading goal, no one else's. It's okay. Okay.
No, I'm stuck on
We're already done. And then when you're done with that page, we'll talk about that one too.
Okay.
Ooh, so that one that you just wrote down.
How you
Genesis-
finish?
Hang on.
It's on one page.
call that a vowel team. So this sound right here makes the long E sound. So we actually say E. So let's try to break it up into different sounds. Good, say it again. Beam, lovely. And this one, I'm wondering if you can, oh, I'm sorry, you're not finished. Go ahead.
I'm finished.
Oh, I actually know what that is.
Wait, hold on. At the
This is
last
the
page. At the last page.
There it is. And this one, can you use the pictures as a clue what that one might mean?
At the
Really?
last page. It's
Is there
not
a picture?
12.
Yes.
It's
Mm,
not.
no. I mean,
What do you think it looks like? How would you describe these things right here in your
Bars.
words?
It's
They look like
not.
bars. Another word for that is rings.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yes,
that's a
darling.
compound word. So this one, try to break it into, hang on 1 second, okay? And I'm gonna ask you to raise your hand. So let's say each part of that word together. Ready? What's that one? Wanna say it together? Uh-huh. Good. Okay, so now that you've read the book,
It's not
I
page
keep doing
12.
it's
She's
because
go-
it's the picture. That's okay.
It's just 11 and 13.
That's all right. Thank you.
Keep
Okay.
on this.
What I want you to do now is we're gonna go back to what our task was, right? Which was to retell the story. So for the first task, I want you to just look what I do. So I'm gonna take my cards. Oh, you need a second, Genesis. Good. Thank you, ma'am.
Just
Alright.
a second. He's not done reading.
That's okay, because we're gonna work together and you can reread in order to retell.
Can I spell one more?
Sure, absolutely. So notice these cards I have. Do you notice anything familiar about them?
Yes. They're the same.
Yes, Jason.
They're the same thing that's in the book.
They're the same as in the book. So our job, I have them all scrambled up. Ooh, okay, before
Wait,
we
flip
go into
them
this,
over.
hang
Flip
on
them
a second.
over. So it don't be that hard.
Focus, take 1 moment, okay? So what's that first sound that you hear? And then it has bossy R. Remember what bossy R is? Close, that is a different one. That one says like a pirate. R. Good job, you got it. All right, so now your job and you two will be working together, and you two will be working together. So watch what I do. I'm gonna try to find the very first event that happens. Because sometimes you can choose different ones. That's okay, just leave it. You can have a seat.
Then I
Okay,
keep
sit
it on
there.
this.
That's okay. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back in my book, and I'm gonna try to look for the very first event. What's a strategy I could use to find that first event? Or the first thing that happens in the story? What could I do if I'm looking at these cards and I have my book? Yeah, Jose, did I see your hand? What can I do?
You can look at the pictures,
Yeah,
read it,
good.
and that's about all.
So I'm gonna reread just that page because I know it's the first one, right? So it's gonna be our first page. So I'm gonna go back. I wish to play on the mat. I'm gonna look at the picture. Then I'm gonna go find that picture like a scavenger hunt. So as I do it, I'm gonna do the first one and then, oh, you can look at it in a moment. You're gonna get your own, okay? So can you put it back for me? Because it might be the missing one. So I'm gonna match the picture and let's actually see with the ones that I have if we can't find which one happens first. If you see it, give me a quiet thumbs up, please. If you happen to see it, okay?
Give you what?
A thumbs up if you see the one that matches the very first story event. Good. All right.
He never said point.
That's okay. You were quiet, so I appreciate it. All right. So here I have the first event. Notice I'm not really gluing it. If we had time, we would, but I don't think we're gonna have time today. But we can just stick it. So I've first. Now, what happens next? Yeah, Genesis. Hang on. I'll ask you why. You want to do it? So sit back.
Mm-mm.
Here.
That's a white one. Yes.
I will give you your own. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes, and how did you know it was that one?
Okay.
Guys. From the picture using context clues. I have it
Yeah,
upside
but
down.
back.
I didn't have it upside down.
What?
Good. Okay, so I want to stick it right there. And then one more volunteer to tell me what happens then. Yeah, do you want to find it?
There's a paper.
Oh,
I'm
this-
not saying the book. I'm saying the paper that we had to put it on. Saying like this.
And mine's a little out of order, but hopefully yours is okay. Ooh, so I'm noticing this one is on page 13. That would be eventually. So if you're choosing this one, that would work as long as it's not the last one, right? Okay, so
Matches the
here's
same page.
what I want you to do now. Everybody back up. So you're in your own space.
I don't have it.
So, I'm sorry.
You forgot about.
Okay, but actually before you spread them out, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your whiteboard back like that so everybody has a little bit of space. You can keep opening yours, right, though?
No.
But, because you want to, what do good readers do?
Oh, read.
They reread. Good job.
They read.
Okay, that's okay. I know it's also the afternoon, you're kind of tired, huh?
No.
So, here are the sheets and you're gonna work together. Careful, you're flinging them. So you're gonna be looking for what happens first, second, third, and you two are gonna work together to find that. And then you're gonna do the same. Then, we're gonna write about what happens after. And here's your
I don't
final.
like writing that.
That's where we're gonna practice, right?
Yes.
Because when you get better at it, it's more fun to do, isn't it?
Look.
Okay,
Steiner, look at me.
Are you sure we're gonna do the marshmallows?
let's talk about that when we're done, okay? And then I'll talk about it with the whole class. Alright, so you two. Hang on one second. 'Cause it's
What are we
fun.
trying to find?
That's what I was just gonna ask. So, can I have all eyes back on me, please, for one moment? Thank you. Okay, who can retell, I'm gonna use that word again, what the directions are? What's our task in this moment? Yeah, Jose.
Put them in order.
Put what in order?
The pictures or the words
Yeah,
or the paper.
good. Yeah. Anyone else wanna add to that?
No.
What are you gonna put it on?
The
paper.
Yep.
That paper.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at the clock and it is about time to start it. So we're gonna, not about to start it. We don't have a lot of time, so go ahead and try your best and then we'll do the writing part after, okay? You're gonna use this up. Remember what you asked about slowness?
That's not the end. Yeah.